Hey guys, it's Sydney at Treadmill Review Guru. I'm here with the new 2023 model of the NordicTrack 2450. It's had some changes that I'm going to go over, as well as how it performed for us, so stick around. All right, so let's start with the construction on the 2023 model of the NordicTrack 2450. I think that one of the biggest changes is that it's a little bit more compact than the previous model, and I think that actually makes it a little bit more convenient for most homes, especially if you don't have a lot of space. As it's laid out like this, the footprint is 78.5 inches long, 35.6 inches wide, and 65 inches high. So it's still obviously a substantial treadmill, but it takes up a little bit less space than the previous model. What makes it convenient and really one of our top recommended models for home use is that the deck folds up and it can be moved around. So that deck folds up, uses a hydraulic assist, and then it will slowly lower to the ground when you unlock it. Plus, when you have it folded up and tilt it back, you can engage those transportation wheels to move it around. This model is actually about 50 pounds lighter than the previous ones. We found it actually is easier to move than last year's model, so this is a nice option and it's just a little bit more maneuverable. Also, it has a steel frame, and then from the floor connects up into these steel uprights. Really, this design is the same as last year's model. It's streamlined, easy to use. We've also noticed the side handles are a little bit narrower, they're a little bit closer together just because the design is just a little bit more compact. And I actually think it just makes it easier to grab them when you need them. They're just kind of right there. Also, we've noticed with the screen that there's less screen wobble than the previous model, so it feels a little bit sturdier, especially with this screen. I mean, this is a 22-inch touchscreen. I'm gonna get into more of it in that console section, talk about iFit and all of that, but 22-inch touchscreen, it's pretty large, and a lot of times when you're running, we'll notice on other machines that screen does wobble, and like in the previous model it did. This one, that screen wobble has really been cut down to where it's just really not very noticeable. So it's a nice improvement. One thing with the texture on the side handles, it's no longer that velvety texture. I will admit that I do miss it and I really like it, but it's just a textured plastic, and it does the same thing as the previous texture. It doesn't feel slippery. It's actually, I think, a little bit easier to grab just with the placement, with the console just being a little bit narrower. So does its job, but no longer that kind of velvety, luxurious texture that I know I went on about in last year's review. The motor is a 3.6 continuous horsepower motor. There wasn't any changes there. It's pretty quiet. I feel like it's appropriate for most home spaces, and it's responsive, gets up to speed fairly quickly. It goes up to 12 miles per hour. With this size motor, we recommend it for heavy use. So if you want to, run a marathon or train for a race or log a lot of miles, this one's a really great option and can handle everything from walking all the way up to sprinting. One thing that did change is the incline range. So it goes up to 12%. On the previous model, it went up to 15%. So you get a little bit less of an incline, but it's not too noticeable. And definitely when you're up at 12%, like I like to do, if you're familiar with the 12-3-30, you incline it up and you go 3 miles per hour, kind of whatever speed works for you with that. That incline is also, it's pretty high, definitely activates the posterior muscles, so it's effective. Plus, that deck still declines to -3, so that just gives you even more training options, and we actually don't see a lot of decline on folding treadmills, so it's appreciated that is available still on the 2450. So plenty of range there, plus with that 12 miles per hour, you can still get a lot of training with this and definitely take your training to the next level. With the deck, it is 60 inches long and 20 inches wide. So with this length, it's really sufficient for all running strides. We found in our testing, most people of different stride lengths can be able to run and sprint. It is 2 inches narrower than the previous model. So it's 20 inches rather than 22. A lot of models in its class, like the Bowflex Treadmill 22 and even the NordicTrack X22i, have 22-inch wide running surfaces. All of our reviewers, we don't notice a difference. I actually think that this is kind of the sweet spot for decks when it comes to being able to run and also being able to fit it in your home. I think that's why the treadmill just feels, it's just a little bit more compact, I think a little bit more home friendly. But I would check out those two other models if you want a little bit wider surface to run on. One thing in the deck that we really appreciate is the cushioning. NordicTrack has some of the softest cushioning that we've tested in treadmills, and the 2450 is one of the softest that we've tested underfoot. It just has a lot of shock absorption to be able to lessen the impact on your joints. And I know, especially if I'm running outside on concrete that doesn't have any shock absorption, I get discomfort in my ankles, and you don't get that on the 2450, so it's really great, especially for a lot of use. Also, the step up height is just about 9 inches, so it's great for a little bit lower ceilings, plus now you don't have to worry about that full 15% incline, it's just the 12%, so it makes it a little bit more home friendly even if your ceilings are a little bit lower. And NordicTrack covers the 2450 with a 10-year warranty for the frame, a 2-year warranty for parts, and a 1-year warranty for labor. And we recommend at least 2 people setting it up, just because with the screen attaching everything, it just makes for a smoother process. All right, now let's check out the console on the 2450. So I mentioned earlier, this is a 22-inch touchscreen. I think it's kind of my favorite size for treadmills. It's plenty large to be able to see everything, navigate really well. I'm gonna go into the iFit subscription in a moment, but this screen is super adjustable. It can tilt up and down, and then you can pivot it to either side, which makes it awesome if you're taking an iFit class on the treadmill and then you want to finish up with a yoga class on your mat after. Super versatile that way, and you get even more use out of the screen. The speakers are really clear. I like that when you turn the screen, they're pointed at you, so if you're using it off the treadmill, you can still hear them really clearly. The volume goes really loud. You can adjust the volume down here, and you can also adjust it in iFit, where you can balance between the music and the trainer's voice. So really with this console, it's streamlined. It's the same design as last year's model for 2022. It has these quick touch buttons. That's really our favorite. I know when I'm using treadmills that have them, I use these buttons all the time. The right side is for your speed and the left side is for the incline and decline. So with NordicTrack, this layout, it's a little bit more intuitive than some other treadmills. It just makes it to where I don't have to worry about if they're underneath each other in a line down here. I don't have to worry about if I've accidentally pushed, incline when I wanted to adjust the speed, or kind of vice versa. It's nice that it's on either side of the screen. Also, with the speed, if I were to press like 6, 8 back to back, the speed will then go to 6.8 miles per hour. So you get to have a lot of range to be able to work with the speed and incline, and also just be able to use the treadmill a little bit more quickly, as far as adjusting, and it's just a little bit easier to use. So as far as the other adjustment buttons, you just have the speed down here and then the incline, which is nice. It also has a fan. The fan actually provides a pretty decent airflow. I'll let you listen to it. So this is the lowest setting. This is medium. So it does make noise, but I'm about 5'1". It points at my neck and chest, so it provides a good airflow. Our tallest reviewer, Matt, it hits him about kind of chest, upper torso, so it provides a nice amount of airflow, and it's nice that it has multiple settings. With the cup holders, they're no longer removable, but we found that we don't really miss this on the previous model. You could remove them if you wanted to. They're also a little bit shallower. These have a little bit more depth, so I find that they hold my water. I can also put my phone in them, and they hold them a little bit better. Something to keep in mind with the console is that it doesn't include a place for you to put your phone or tablet, so you're really kind of locked into using the screen, and that's where you can see all of your metrics, as well as if you subscribe to iFit. So just be aware of that. There's really no kind of place for you to even put like a book or tablet or something like that. Would be maybe nice to have that in the future as an option, but just know that once you're subscribed to iFit, you have plenty of options there. Also, when you're running, we really like that the screen no longer shakes. I mentioned that a little bit in the construction section, so that's a really big plus. All right, so now we're gonna jump into iFit. All right, so when you purchase the NordicTrack 2450, iFit comes free for the first month. It is optional. We get this question a lot that, do I have to subscribe to iFit in order to use the treadmill? You don't. There are onboard workouts. There's even some trainer-led workouts that are available for free without iFit. And there's also manual mode. So just know that. But this is what you get with a subscription. And we highly recommend subscribing because there's thousands of classes to take. So there are, I think, over 16,000 classes. It's growing. The library is added to all the time. Classes are primarily filmed indoors in a studio. They're also filmed outdoors on every continent, so you can explore all sorts of different places. Really, their outdoor classes, I think, is what helps set iFit apart from other fitness platforms. They have a lot of series of classes where you can take them with the same instructor. They're sometimes also filmed in the same location. It's just a way for you to be able to, focus on a specific goal, work on that over the course of a few weeks, and have guidance with that iFit instructor, and the class will be structured to help you work towards that goal. One of the series that we really like this with one of our favorite instructors is actually the Road to Recovery. There's 3 parts. I've been doing the part 3 that is fairly new. It's the newest part to this series. It's with Tommy Rivs. He has a really inspiring story, and really with this series, I've really enjoyed taking it. I just wanted to kind of give a shout out for a second. This one, he talks about himself and kind of is able to guide you through northern Italy, and it's really beautiful, but he has just an on-screen presence that makes the workout feel more intimate, and it actually makes it feel like you're not working out. Definitely there are other workouts that's kind of the more, come on, one more rep, push a little harder. But with this, it's kind of just a little bit of change of pace, and I've been really enjoying it. So I highly recommend checking it out, whether you subscribe to iFit or if you just want to try it for the first 30 days. One of our favorite features is the auto adjust. So as you're going through, the treadmill will automatically adjust to be able to match like the terrain, or be able to match like the pre-format of the workout that the instructor has already made before the class. So all the workouts are on demand, so you can take them whenever, but it's nice to have that automation on the treadmill so it can adjust as you're going. You can also adjust the treadmill at any point, but it's just really nice to not have to think about, oh, I have to climb up a mountain and I have to increase the incline. The treadmill will do it for you. As I mentioned, you can adjust the speakers in iFit. There's music that plays kind of in the background, and it's a radio station kind of type feature where there's pre-selected playlists of music that are split into different genres. So you can listen to music. Unfortunately, there isn't any music integrated into any of the classes. Potentially, we would like to see some music integrated in some of the indoor filmed classes, but considering the expansive library of classes that iFit has to offer, the music is just fine. And also, if you don't want to follow along with an instructor, you can go down here and click the little create button, and it pops up a Google map. So it'll pop up to just a default location, but you can pick anywhere in the world and draw your own location, and then it will create a route for you, and then Google Images will pop up, so you can kind of do exploring on your own. And then you also have the option with the trainers. So we highly recommend checking out iFit. We also have a full review at treadmillreviewguru.com of iFit, so make sure you check out that with even more details. But this is what you get with the subscription. All right, so now I'm gonna let you see and hear how the NordicTrack 2450 sounds. But first, if you like this video and find it helpful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We create reviews like this for you. We like you to be able to see us run and walk so you know what to expect before you take a treadmill home. We have a lot of reviews coming your way as well, so make sure you're subscribed. All right, so now I'm going to walk at just a casual walking pace, 3 miles per hour, and then I'm going to run. All right, here is 6 miles per hour. Here's 9 miles per hour. Okay, so now I'm going to decline the deck to the full -3%. So now it's fully declined. It's slight, but trust me, it's noticeable when you're using the treadmill. And then here it is at the full 12%. So you definitely noticed from the previous model that the Incline motor is quieter. And the motor overall, it gets noisier when you're at higher speeds, but that's typical for treadmills. So overall, it's pretty quiet. All right, here's Matt. He's our tallest reviewer at 6'5". Here he is walking at 3 miles per hour. And running at 9 miles per hour. Thanks for watching our review. Overall, we're impressed with all of the changes that have been made to the 2023 model of the NordicTrack 2450. We especially like the 22-inch touchscreen. It's super adjustable, so you can see it from when you're on the treadmill and off the treadmill. Plus, it's enabled with iFit that offers thousands of trainer-led content, so we highly recommend checking it out. Although you don't have to subscribe to iFit to use the treadmill, there's onboard workouts and that manual mode as well. The 3.6 continuous horsepower motor is quiet, it's responsive, and it's really capable of handling a lot of use. We love recommending the 2450 for runners, so if you want to do long distance running and maybe even train for a marathon, this one's a great option. Plus, the deck cushioning is comfortable. Really, NordicTrack has some of the softest cushioning that we've felt underfoot on treadmills. The 2450 definitely has some of the soft cushioning that we really like. Also, with this deck size, it's ideal for most running strides, so most users will be able to run and sprint. Plus, it's a little bit more compact, it's a little narrower than the previous model, so I think it actually makes it a little bit more friendly for more homes, especially if you don't have a lot of space for a treadmill. Plus, that deck folds up, which is super convenient. And also, the layout is streamlined, it's intuitive, makes the treadmill super easy to use. Some things to keep in mind is that the Incline just goes up to 12% rather than 15% in the previous model, which is a little disappointing, but you still have plenty of training options, and that deck still declines to -3%, which, trust me, you notice it when you're using it. And there isn't a place to put your phone or your tablet to be able to stream your own content, so just keep that in mind. You're kind of locked in with the screen. And with this deck size, it is 2 inches narrower than comparable models on the market, but I think it just makes it a little bit more friendly for your home. So overall, we're really impressed. If you want to learn more, head to treadmillreviewguru.com. We have a full written review there. And if you want to check the current price on the 2450, click that link in our description. That is our affiliate link. It helps out our channel. We want to keep making reviews like this for you, so check that out and you can check out the current price there. And if you like this video and find it helpful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We create all sorts of reviews like this for you. We like to also run on the machines and let you listen to them and see them in action, so make sure you subscribe. We have a lot of content coming your way. I'm Sydney with Treadmill Review Guru. I'll see you next time.